Okay, so now I'm working on some 308s. I've got some 155 grain ELD match, 150 grain soft point interlocks that my friend Idaho Rogers USMC gave me. We working on a trade on that. And then I have some 150 grain full metal jacket boat tails, and I also have some that my friend Idaho Rogers gave me, some 168 grain hollow point boat tail razor core IMI factory rounds. These are made in uh, April of 2019. Lot on there. Sometimes you can read those. And I've already got some of the 150 grain full metal jacket boat tails loaded up. I've got a variety of different powders, and I'll show you those in just a minute. Each one of these are different powders, and half of these are loaded on my Lee seating die. And since I just got this new Frankfurt Arsenal seating die, the other half are on there. And that's the seating die, and it's right here, and you can drop your bullet straight in and run it up. And here's my Lee factory seating die. Now this is going to lead into something that I'm going to show you here in just a minute. But first, let me show you the different powders I'm using. I'm very blessed to have a variety. Okay, first up is a lot of people's favorite, Varget. Now, I have never loaded with Varget, so this is a new experience for me. But recently, when I was visiting with my friend Idaho Rogers, USMC in Idaho, he told me where I could get a bunch of it. Now, this was marked $28 per pound. I was able to get 5 pounds for roughly a lot less than that. This one here was opened. Okay, this one here was opened, and I actually picked up 4 pounds for my friend Dead Horse. He's my friend. He's also a neighbor. And I gave him the 4 pounds, and I kept the one that was open. I don't see any problems, but I just hate to give a friend an open container. This came from a pawn shop. It's where I also got the some other bullets there. But Idaho Rogers, he had found these 5 jars in this pawn shop, and he called me, and I just happened to be going through Idaho at the time. I was coming out of Montana, so we got to hang out for a couple hours, and I got this and some other things. And he got a deal on I believe it was an 8-pound bottle of Shooter's World precision rifle, and he just put them in a empty container. It's probably just probably a little over a pound. I've never used Shooter's World, so precision rifle is something that I'm going to be experimenting with on these 308 loads. Then my old standby, Hodgdon H4895. I use this in a wide variety of different loads, and I've always had pretty decent success with it. So I'm going to try some of the 308s with that. And then another one of my favorites is H335. I'm going to, again, be loading up different loads with that, using different bullets. And then Shooter's World, yeah, I know it's just written on there, match rifle. Again, he had a container, and he filled that up with the Shooter's World. Now, again, like I say, I've never used Shooter's World powders, This is going to be a new experience for me, but I've got the load data, and I'm really excited to see how this is going to compare. Now, Varget and Shooter's World Precision Rifle are supposed to be very similar, so I'm interested to see how that's all going to pan out. Now I want to show you what else I've been doing on these 308s. Okay, so I made my redneck chamber gauge. These are a couple of Winchester military 7.62 by 51 cases, but they had some dents, and if I can get this to focus, had some dents right here on the corner of the shoulders, so I really didn't want to try and blow those back out. This phone doesn't want to, yeah, you can see that. So this is the full metal jacket boat tail, and I went and measured, come on, focus, I better hold them like this. I went and measured my chamber with sliding the bullet in there, and then just very carefully bringing it back out. Now, one thing you can see here, you can see how far down maybe the bullet goes. Like I said, it's full metal jacket boat tail, so you can see the boat tail there, and it basically goes right to the bottom of the neck where the shoulder begins. And then I took a ELD match, did the same thing, and you can see maybe that it's a lot longer bullet. And I got my overall measurements so that I can set my dies to get the least amount of bullet jump. Now, on the full metal jacket boat tail, come on, focus, you can see that I've got quite a bit of space before the cantilever. So on these other ones, one second. Okay, on these ones that I loaded them right to the bottom edge of the cantilever, and they're 2 point, one second. Let's see, 2.730. So with this bullet, the round starts running into the lands at 2.810, and I've got these loaded at 2.730, so I've got an 80 thousandths jump. We'll see how those work, but I have some other issues with these that I'll get to in a minute. Okay, on the ELD match, my overall length is 2.831, which is substantially longer than my full metal jacket. A lot of it has to do with the way the ogive is set up. As you can see, if I can get this to focus, the ogive is farther back on the match bullet than it is on the full metal jacket, so that's where it's going to run into the lands. Is that right, at the ogive? So I'm going to try the little bit longer ELD match, and it's saying that 2.800 should be my, and that's going off of the, yeah, where is it, 155, let's say in 2.7, but I'm going to run them a little bit longer, and we'll see how those do. I've got plenty of magazine length, and going off of the Hornady book, it's saying 2.800, so I'm going to go off the Hornady measurements, and that'll give me a 30 thousandths jump. And we'll play around with that as time goes by, but I want to find out which powder is giving me the best results. Now, you'll see all over the place I've got 308 cases, and yeah, I've got a big tub of them over here. I've got a bunch that still aren't loaded, I've been working on all of these. Sorry for moving around so much. Hope I'm not making anybody seasick. But I also have another little thing that I'm doing, and I'll tell you about that in a sec. Okay, my friend Dead Horse loaned me his Sinclair Concentricity gauge, and I liked it so much that with my upcoming birthday, my wife had been asking me, "What do you want for your birthday?" Um, Let me think. Okay, now I know. These really aren't as expensive as I thought they were. Brownells has them right now for I think $119 with the dial indicator. So if I want to have really good ammunition, I want to try and get the concentricity as low as possible. And that was part of the problem I had with my full metal jacket. And I'll show you here in just a minute as soon as I can get this up in the tripod. Okay, so I'm going to just take as an example. My run out on these bullets was all over the place. Let's see. Let me get this zeroed. Okay, so that is zeroed. There's technique to using the Sinclair. You want to keep firm pressure on here and then just rotate it with your other hand. So as you can see, I'm getting a little over 6/1000ths of an inch run out on these. I don't know if this is indicative of this type of bullet or if there's a problem with my process. I had already processed all of my brass prior to this, so let me move this in and I'll see what kind of neck run out I'm getting. Okay, so let me re-zero. Look sideways if you have to. So let's see what kind of neck run out I'm getting. Let's see. I'm looking sideways. So about 3/1000ths neck run out. So that's just one. I've got 50 loaded there. The question I have is, do I need to work on my brass prep better? This is one of my cases here. Let's see. Let me get this to where it's a little bit more zeroed out. Just a minute here. That's the nice thing about the Sinclair is it's really adjustable, but it's also a drawback. It is so adjustable that you have to be careful with it. We've been looking at a lot of different concentricity gauges, trying to see what would work really good for me. And I believe for the price, okay, let me zero this out. I believe for the price, this is going to be my best bang for my buck. Okay, so I am getting, okay, bring that down just a little bit more. Some people say plus or minus. Yeah, okay. Well, I like to know an exact number. Yeah, that's 4/1000ths run out right there. Now, I size these with my Lee decapping and sizing die. Here's another little bit of controversy. Shoulder bump. There's some people saying neck size only. Some people say do full length resizing. Don't worry how much you set the shoulders back. Now, on all of this brass, and some is once fired in my rifle, some is brass that I've purchased. This is all Lake City here in this, let's see, this is Lake City 2008. So this is purchased brass. So I took my once fired brass and I got a measurement at the datum line here, and I went back 1.5 thousandths. Some people say set them back 2 thousandths. Some people say don't set them back at all. Okay, so I'm a fence sitter. I'm going back 1.5 thousandths. After the second firing, then I'm probably leaving them right where they're at and just neck size. But until I can get my brass established for the chamber of my rifle, I'm going to go back 1.5 thousandths. And all of these are exactly the same. You can use the comparator and you'll find every one of them the same. Now let's see, this is, yeah, that's an 08. I think a lot of the run out, this is a 2011. I think a lot of the run out is because these are fired in machine guns. This is machine gun pull down, the stuff that I purchased. In fact, even the M80 ball that I was generating my brass with initially, that's machine gun pull down. So machine guns are not going to have as accurate of a chamber as, say, a precision rifle or even some hunting rifles. So I think that's probably where my a lot of my run out comes from. I've got some other brass that is incredible. It has almost zero run out, and I'll show you that here in just a second. Okay, this is PMJ. This is military brass too. I don't know who makes PMJ. In fact, this is 2006. It's got the little cross on it, which means it's NATO. 7.62 by 51. Let me get this zeroed, and I'll show you. I've not done anything different with this. Let me zero that again. I've not done anything different with this than what I did with the Lake City. No, okay, that one's going to show 5 thousandths. Huh. All right, I had another one here. Let me get another one. And it's all over the place. You just don't know what you're going to get. I'll just grab another random one. Oh, I ran some through here earlier, and I was only getting about 1.5 thousandths. But again, you don't know what you're going to get. So let me zero that. Okay. Okay, so that's, well, that one's almost 4. I did have some that were about 2. But I'm going to show you what I'm trying to do to get this Lake City all pretty much uniform. Let's see, where am I starting at? Let me zero that. Yeah, about 4 thousandths. Okay, let me reset the tripod and I'll show you what I'm doing. Before I do that, I know what brass it was that was giving me those great results. TAA. No idea. It's a NATO, and this is 2008. It's a NATO round. So let's take a look at this really quick. I didn't do anything differently with this than what I did with the Lake City. Okay, that one's coming out at 3. This one's significantly lower. I think this is the one that really surprised me. I just grabbed one random one and threw it in here. About 1.5 thousandths. And I mean, I'd never heard of TAA. I have no idea where it's made, what plant or anything. But if it's that good to start with, it might be some pretty good stuff. I don't know. we'll try it out eventually. But right now I'm just working on Lake City. You know, Lake City is supposedly the standard for good brass, but as you can see, this whole pile here is 3 to 4 thousandths. I think I had a couple are about 4.5 thousandths. So I'm going to show you what I'm trying to do here to get those worked out. If I don't clobber the tripod. Okay, so if you've got, and this is a cheap Lee die, if you've got cases that you want to work the run out of, now this is already set. This is already set. So running up through the die is not going to change the shoulder angle any. Give it a third of a turn. Now, what I've been doing is I've been giving it another third of a turn. I'm running it up in there 3 different times. Now, this was 4 thousandths. So let's see what it comes out to now. Okay, let's put this in here and let's see where it lands. Now, keep in mind, if I move it off them ball bearings, it's going to change. Yeah. Maybe 2, maybe less. Let me zero that. Just slightly under 2 thousandths of an inch. So you can see I took a lot of the concentricity, a lot of the run out away from this, and I can live with 2 thousandths. If my bullets have 2 thousandths of an inch run out, I would be really happy. This IMI stuff here, let me loosen this and pull this back so I can get a case in here. Okay, this IMI stuff here, go back to 0. Okay, that's 0 down there. Okay, turn your head sideways, guys. There's 6 thousandths. No, maybe 7. Let me zero that again. Okay, there's 5, 6, 7, almost 8 thousandths run out. And this is supposed to be match ammunition. So if I can get my run out to 2 or 3 thousandths, then I'm giving my bullet a head start down the bore of my rifle a lot straighter, and I'm helping my chances of having more accuracy, wouldn't you think? Now, again, I may be right, I may be wrong. Your mileage may vary. We'll have to see how that all runs out. But this is what I'm trying to do, just seeing if I can build the best ammo possible. Now, we took some 243s and some 6.5 Grendel that I'd reloaded before when Dead Horse brought this over to loan it to me last week. We took some of my 243 loads and some of my 6.5 Grendel loads, and I was averaging about 1.5 thousandths on my 243 and right around 2 thousandths on my 6.5 Grendel. Keep in mind, the 6.5 Grendel has a lot more bullet exposed. They're really long bullet on those, and those are 129 grains, so they're even longer than, say, 123. So if I'm getting 2 thousandths run out on that longer bullet with 129 grain, then I should be pretty much into the accuracy. If you go back and look at some of my Grendel shooting from last year, you'll see that I was consistently pulling under a minute of 1 MOA. My 243s, I have gotten down to a 0.3 group. It's 0.38, excuse me. I don't want to BS anybody. And my 243 is just really accurate. So I'm wondering if some of that accuracy is my length of jump, or the shortness of the jump, and my concentricity. So I'm going to be playing with a lot of different things on these 308s, and that's what I'll be working on here for the next few weeks anyway. So Okay, thanks guys. I'm gonna get out of here. I've got a whole bunch of brass to get sized, and I have one other thing I'm going to try. I have some brass here, pardon the reach. I got them in here because I sprayed those with one shot. I have to get this back. Okay, so now you don't have to turn your head again. Okay, so these here were very little run out, less than 2. That's why I had those there. What I'm going to do, yeah, it's just slightly over 1 or maybe right at 1. Again, these are Lake City. Now, I don't know why some of these are so good and some are so bad, but I've been really surprised by them. Yeah, again, about 1. So if I were to put these into my sizing die again, and these have been sized in that sizing die, if I were to put them in the sizing die again, will I ruin the 1,000ths run out that I've got? Let's find out. What have we got to lose? Okay, these are the ones that were 1,000ths run out. I'll run these through just like I do the other ones. Is there any such thing as oversizing? Oh no. These have all been trimmed and everything else, so these were ready to load, but let's go back over to the concentricity gauge and let's see how they turned out. Okay, let's see if I ruined them by oversizing them. Still 1,000ths. So running through the sizing die again 3 times, like I shown you with the rotation, and that one is still about 1.5 thousandths. And I think that's about where it was before. So I didn't ruin them. So people want to say, "Oh, it's your dies. You know, that's what's causing the problem." I don't believe so. You can argue if you want, but I just showed this. These right here that are 3 to 4 thousandths run out. It's not really terrible. I mean, it could be worse. It could be 7, 8, 9 thousandths. But if I can get them down to 2, yeah, I'm helping that concentricity. So let me run this through off camera here really quick. I should have showed you before. Everything in this bucket I've already sorted is 3 to 4 thousandths run out. Let me zero that really quick. Okay, I need to bring that down just a little bit. Precision matters. Okay, so I cut the run out in half. I think after firing these in my rifle a little bit, I can get this run out to almost 0. But that went from 4 to 2. I'm pretty happy with that. I'll play around with this concentricity stuff, and once I get my own concentricity gauge, I'm going to be doing a lot more concentricity work. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope it wasn't too boring for you, but now you see what I'm doing, and hopefully in the next video I'll actually be out to the range and get some shooting in with the 308. It's been really crazy around here. We're getting a lot of smoke from the California fires, and the weather has just been really wonky. Yesterday it was 103 degrees, and it was so smoky that you couldn't hardly see the sun. So I mean, it's just been really crazy. And for those folks that are living over in California and Nevada, man, my heart goes out to you, because I work out of the Reno area, and I just came back from Seattle on Friday, and coming down to Klamath Falls, Oregon, started running into smoke. And by the time I got down to Susanville, California, it wasn't even a quarter of a mile visibility, and you could just taste it, and it just messed up my sinuses bad. And Reno was the same way, and it wasn't until I got probably 2/3 the way east in Nevada before the smoke started clearing out. But anyway, yeah, if you can afford one, get a concentricity gauge. I'm hoping to test out my theories about the concentricity. I'm got those loaded, and like I showed you, they've got a lot of concentricity to them. Just see one other one. I'll just check the neck on it. Okay, let me zero that. Okay, a little bit. Oops. Like I say, the one thing about Sinclair is you got to keep constant pressure on the case. Yeah, this is 5/1000 run out, and I didn't even think to try this about reducing the run out until this past week, and I'd already had those other ones with the full metal jackets loaded, so I'm not going to pull those and try them again. They're just full metal jackets. They're basically to get a second firing on the brass. Those are once fired brass, and yeah, they've got wonky run out. I just grabbing random ones here. This is actually kind of a fun tool, little tool to play with. I want to thank my friend Dead Horse again. Yeah, see this one here is 6/1000 run out just in the case neck. These were only run through the sizing die one time. I didn't think about running them up through 3 times. On all my other my 243s, my 6.5 Grendels, even my 222s, I run those up into the die 3 times, giving them a third of a turn each time. And like I said, with the 243s, I'm getting an average of 1.5 thousandths run out, and on my 6.5 Grendels, I'm getting an average of right around 2 thousandths. And I'm pretty satisfied with those. I get great results out of those 2 calibers. I just want to get the same kind of results out of these 308s. So I've got a lot of loading to do. I've got 5 different powders and 2 more different types of bullets. I'm going to try the interlocks, and I'm going to try the ELD matches. And using all 5 of these powders, I'll do 5 at a time. So with 5 powders, and I'm also going to try the Frankfurt Arsenal seating die and Lee seating die, and I'm going to see if I get any difference in concentricity. I've got my numbers written down from the full metal jacket boat tails, and I know what every one of those bullets are by how I've got them written down and how much concentricity I have out of each one of those. So yeah, maybe I'm taking a lot of notes, but anyway, with 5 different powders, using 2 different seating dies, that's 10, so that's 50, right? With each bullet. And I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna try with the interlock bullets. That's a hunting bullet, that's soft point, and I have really good luck with the interlocks in my 243. And so I'm going to see if I can get the same kind of results out of the 308. Now, minute of angle is great on that bullet, but the ELD match, I really want to see half minute of angle, because hey, it's $36 a 100 for those bullets. So I want to see how those pan out, and I'm going to eventually try some Sierras, maybe some Burgers, whatever I can afford. I have to really be careful. I'm on a budget right now, and I can't spend too much. So let's see how this all pans out, and see you on the range. Thanks, folks.